terms of replacing Chris Neal? I know that's not easy to do, but what are you seeing out of the guys who are trying to do that?
Well, I think they're those guys are doing a good job, and I mean, I don't know that you replace Chris. I think you find another guy that becomes the nose. He's really a good football player, but I think we have guys that are capable in doing that, in George Wright and Josh, and we just want to let those guys work a little bit. But they're doing a good job, and George's a good football player, and he played for us a little bit last year, and he's got some explosiveness. And again, he's just got to get coached a little bit, and he's got to rep it. And he'll be ready to go by the time we start playing in September.
What have you been saying on Travis Bell?
Travis is another kid that we're high on, and again, he just needs, like the majority of the kids, he just needs reps and experience. But he's an athletic kid, he's a smart kid, and he's a 200, 205-pound kid. He worked hard in the winter, so we're impressed with him right now. He's still learning, but he does some good things. He's got a chance to be a good player.
Going back with the installation and everything, I know it's always a progress, like you said, in progression in the spring, but here, I guess just look at the offense 3 days and then they kind of repeat. Do you have a schedule like that you hope to do over the spring football year after year? Does it change this year compared to last year?
No, not really. I mean, we put it in. We're putting in a coverage schemes right now, and we stay with what we do with the front, and then we change coverage schemes, and we start out bringing the fourth guy from a certain spot, then we go through that progression, then we go to a 5-man and bring our 5-man pressures, and once we get through that in about a week or so, then we start repeating things. But we don't move on. If they don't get what we put in today, we go back and do it the next day. We don't move on. We wait till they have that down and then move on.
One of the things that's great about the 3-3-5 is being under pressure from a lot of different areas. Do you think that's going to change with kind of competing against Holgerson's offensive practice at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's we do the same things. It's just they spread the ball around, and I think the tempo is really good for us because it makes you have to communicate and get lined up, and that's a tough deal, especially for kids that are learning. So, and our guys have really done a pretty good job with that up to this point in 3 days. That's one of the things that we're pleased with. But I don't know that's going to change a great deal.
What about overall size of your defense? It's a little smaller than you've been typically. Is that concerning a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. There's no question with we don't have the 300-pound kid up front, and so. But we've been like that before, and so we hopefully will find ways, and we still again don't have to tee off until September. So these guys still have a lot of eating to do between now and September, hopefully. But we hope to be a little bit bigger football team by the time we get done with our summer.
But you can get by with that angling, doing things like that.
We will. Yeah, we would have to do some things probably to help them. But the bottom line is they still have to be a fundamental football player. It just helps when they're a little bit bigger when they're fundamentals on.
But at the same time, it looks like you're a little bigger at safety. Even though you lost Robert, you got some bigger kids at safety, so there's some bigger kids in the back end.
Yeah, and I think we'll be okay. I think our kids can run, and that's always been a trait here, and I think that's going to continue to go. And again, I think we run pretty well in the back end, and I think. Again, when you talk about adding a kid like Josh Francis, you lose J.T. Thomas, but you gain a guy like Josh, and he can really run, and you got Bruce Irvin, and he can run. So we'll have to do what we need to do with guys that can move a little bit.
Do you like what Irvin has done so far?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
First and second down.
Yeah, I think that I think that probably too much is going to be made of that. I think that. That's everybody's goal is for Bruce to be an every down player, and I think that he'll be okay by the time September rolls around.
What does he have to do in order to? I mean, obviously there were some weaknesses there last year.
Well, he's got to learn to play the position. You just like anything, you can't just walk in and play it. You have to learn how to, especially the closer you are to the football. The better you're going to have to be with your hands and leverage and do those things. And you know, and I don't think that was one of the things that we were concerned about a little bit last year with Bruce, that, you know, whether he could handle, you know, a 330-pound guy reaching him and doing some of the things that he has to do, and that's what he's working on now. But Bruce will be okay. He's an explosive guy. And he's learning how to play, and that's why he's, you know, where we're at with him.
In a perfect world, do he and Julian get on the field at the same time?
In a perfect world, sure does. Yeah.
Is Julian their tackle, or I mean, does he get a little closer to the ball, or what?
Well, Julian would play the 1-5, and
Right.
Bruce would be the other 5. In a perfect world, yeah, no question.
What about a kid like Will Clark? Where does he fit in there?
He's another guy that is a lot like Bruce in that he's learning to play the position. We really thought we would be able to get some work out of him last year, and then he turned that ankle in a high ankle sprain and really kind of delayed his progress. And by the time that he got back, we were kind of in a row, and so he got limited a little bit. But he's another guy that's going to help us, and he's going to continue to get bigger. So, but he's got a bright future too.
So what have you seen from Josh Francis?
He's a fast kid, boy. He's a thumper. It's the first time we had shoulder pads on, and he'll go thump you. You know, he's got a really a good attitude. He's trying to obviously learn what's going on, but you know, he's really gifted physically.
Did that show up on tape, or did you?
Yeah. You didn't take too long to see that on film. He's a pretty good player on film.
He's playing with the third string right now. Do you expect him to start moving up?
Well, you know, again, we don't really have a first string set. We have to only put guys out. We're repping everybody right now. So, you know, it isn't a situation where, you know, he's the third team guy. You know, we're just trying to get guys reps right now.
Could this be maybe a little faster defense than it was last year, or about the same?
Yeah, probably. I think so. I think, again, because we're a little smaller than last year's group, but I would say, you know, I think we're probably a little quicker right now than what we were last year.